White Mountains National Forest, Pemi Loop. We got hail now. I'm just cold. All I want to do right now is put my hammock up, get into my quilts, laying some down and heat up. Hey everybody, Syntax77 back with you. And let me tell you what the current situation is, get you up to speed on what's going down here. It is a beautiful morning, Thursday morning actually. I am actually here in the White Mountains National Forest, Pemi Loop Wilderness. You probably know the drill by now if you've seen any of my videos. I got off of work last night at Wednesday, hopped in the car, 500 miles later, here I am. Get some sleep in the old V-dub, and now we're going to do 3 days. So I got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Going to be out here, going to do kind of a classic New Hampshire White Mountains experience, the Pemi Loop. We'll keep this intro short. I'll get into all the goodness and the details once we're on the trail and you actually have something to see. Got my pack here. Check out some of my other videos if you want to see some detailed contents there. Got my spot, telling my wife that I'm okay and where I am. There's already no cell service right in this lot. Not really used to this, but look at all these cars here, and this is actually a secondary lot. Got here last night, all these cars are already here. A couple more rolling in, as you can see over there. This is kind of a major hub in the Whites. I'm not really used to this. I usually park on the side of the road somewhere weird and go in. So as we go, we'll probably have a decent amount of people jumping off with us, and then things should thin out as the weekend progresses. I've kind of timed it so we get towards the less populated side of the loop once we're into like Saturday, Friday and whatnot. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm just getting up the courage to get away from the car with some energy drink, you know, usual Pop-Tart. We'll check out some new gear on this video, but I do have a ribs front pack. We'll see how that goes for storing all my camera gear, keeping my load kind of balanced, and some other little minor changes that we'll get into. I got a new top quilt, which is awesome, by Hammock Gear, but I'll show you that once we're in the woods. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up my breakfast, get the GPS fired up, which, you know, I'll track all this. Check it out on my website if you want to follow along. And here's a map just to give you kind of an idea of the shape of the loop we're doing. We're parked right down here at the Lincoln Woods trailhead. We're gonna go clockwise. Like I said, this is the more popular Franconia Ridge, and we'll get that done today on Thursday. Make our way around. Bondcliff is over here, which is supposed to be super awesome. This area here is actually where Mike and I did that winter trip where we got blasted by those crazy winds, but we are only right in here. So we'll come across there, South Twin, we'll revisit that, and on down, and then eventually back to this very car. All right, enough blabbing. Let's get out of here. Get the front pack on here first. You can see that, just kind of put that over or under the pack straps to my main pack, and see how it works. Feels pretty comfortable in the front. I got all my camera gear in here, like I said, so about 4 pounds. And grab this baby. It's about 20 pounds total with the food and water. Right over top the straps to that. Probably around 13, 14 pounds base, and then food and water brings me up to 20. And about 4 pounds of the camera gear. All right, let's go check this place out. Ranger station is that way, and we're looking for the Lincoln Woods Trail, which should be a nice suspension bridge. Bridge. Not a bad start. Beautiful morning. Pretty cool. Got pretty cool sleeping in the car last night. Low 50s for sure. Supposed to go up into the 70s today. It's beginning of August, and so we'll get some cooler temps, but still summer. Pack is feeling good. Feels really comfortable. Having a little bit of this weight up front, so I'm really liking this so far. Of course, I'm just saying that now because I have gone about 150 feet, so probably not the best time to gauge that. Going past some orange safety netting here. Still slowly recovering from the Hurricane Irene damage. Really tore this area up, tore the whole area up, really. Kind of reshaped a lot of things in the Whites, Hurricane Irene. It probably, if you watch all my White Mountains videos, I bet you I mention Hurricane Irene in every one. But that's for good reason. It changed a lot of the trails and created a lot of work for a lot of people around here. But they're slowly getting back to operating condition like they were before. But the landscape has changed. I actually started hiking the Whites a few weeks, if not, I think just 2 weeks before Hurricane Irene. So I really don't know how it ever was before, other than what I find online. But post-Irene, White Mountains is kind of the world that I know. Osseo Trail, that's us, towards the Flume Slide, Franconia Ridge. That should be awesome. Mount Flume, Liberty Spring, let's do it. All in all, it should be, there's different variations you can do depending on what peaks you might want to hit during the Pemi Loop, but usually it's around 32, 34 miles, depending if you do particular side peaks and stuff like that. So I'm thinking we'll be doing roughly 10 to 12 miles a day. There are campsites, as some of you may know already, in the Whites, where you can pay a caretaker, and it's very nice, well taken care of campsite. I do have some cash with me that I could do that as a contingency plan, but for the most part I plan on just taking my hammock and finding somewhere to go off by myself. But that's just my style, but that is an option available to you. There's caretaker campsites. Well, certainly seeing our share of little critters on the Osseo Trail, and finally starting to pick up some elevation as well. A little flat spot here, but finally starting to get a little elevation out of the way. Oh man. Some sort of jet going overhead. Don't hear that too often around here. It's closing in on 10 a.m. Running up on like 5 miles so far. 2,000 feet of elevation gain. So I just had a little Snickers bar for brunch. Pounded some water. And we'll keep things moving. Beautiful day so far. Trees are definitely starting to get a bit smaller, more windswept. Starting to get some views. We're up to about 3,600 feet, and we started at 1,200. That's what I forgot to mention earlier. So we're getting there. There. All right. Finally coming up on a junction. That's where we came from, obviously. Kankamangas Highway, Franconia Ridge Trail. We'll keep going down here. This is probably the Flume Slide. Yeah, so that's another access that you can use to get up here. But traditionally, seems to be that kind of teardrop shape starting at Lincoln Woods that most people do this Pemi Loop for. In terms of starting point. Pemi Loop, not an official trail. You're not going to see that written in any national forest maps or publications. It's just a connection of different trails that make this loop, and it was actually made most popular by a Backpacker Magazine article where they had America's hardest day hikes, and they published it in there, and it kind of gained popularity a lot since then, I believe. Now, like I said, they called it America's hardest day hike. Me, being the glutton for challenges that I am, figured, let's split it into 3 days. So I won't be day hiking this. Matter of fact, a lot of people trail run this too. I'm sorry, even without the pack, I can't even imagine running up here. I got the trail runners on, but I'm not doing any trail running. This looks kind of cool here. Let's actually see what we got a view. Might be nice timing for all my blabbing. Oh yeah. Woo! Look at that, people. Wow, that's almost dizzying. Not bad at all. Wow. Awesome. Get rejuvenated and head out. See some blue blazes way over there. Well, not that far over there, but so it looks like we're going up there. Let's head over there and see how the view looks from there, in fact. Blue blaze. Wow. Yeah, I'm digging that. There's a little bit of rain this morning in the parking lot, but nothing yet. I was able to pull down a weather report. There's a cold front coming in. Then again, when isn't there a cold front of some sort coming in the White Mountains, but that'll cause this fog to pick up. Possibly some intermittent showers throughout the day, but right now we're looking out, so try to hit this ridge while we can, while we got the views. Oh yeah, that wind feels good. Descending back into the woods for a little bit here. Thunder in the distance. Here comes the rain, so time for me to switch my setup a little bit. Put some gear a little deeper in the pack, switch cameras. Hope for the best here. About 7.5 miles in, 8, something like that, I don't know. There it is, the edge of the cloud wall coming in. I've been slowly seeing this creep into this gorge, col, whatever you want to call it, and it's pretty impressive to say the least. Just hope it stays calm. You gotta believe me when I say that I did check the forecast before I came here. There were a list of places you don't want to be during potential lightning in the White Mountains. It would be Franconia Ridge. It's like a knife's edge just up in the air there. As of right now, I don't think it is a legit threat, but I'm just throwing it out there for anybody perceiving it that way. Plan your trip somewhere else if you really think lightning is literally going to be in your area. Look, just in that amount of time that I was running my mouth, that got sucked back. Oh, I wish I had that on film. That is awesome. Either I'm losing my mind, but that thing just reversed course. That is cool. It's getting like drafted back up there. Alright, we got hail now. Alright, I think we got a little break in the rain here, so I could take my GoPro out of the case so you can actually hear me. Yeah, it got really cold. It's starting to get a little warmer, probably because I'm going uphill now. We're starting to get some elevation back. But it was like somebody turned the lights out and dropped the temp, and then the hail started. So that was crazy. Got a break now, which is good, because starting soon up here is back to exposure. So if it kept up crazy, I was going to have to avoid that somehow. But as of right now, we're up to about 10 miles. It's about, I don't know, somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock. I don't feel like looking. And I guess around, ideally 12 miles, I'll find somewhere to camp. Yeah, play it by ear. But right now, let's get across this ridge and hope for the sun to come out and dry me out, because I got a rain top but not the bottoms, and I'd love for that to get a little sun and wash it out. Alright, well, so much for views in this section. It's alright. Sometimes this is kind of cool in its own way anyway. A little creepy. Oh, we're going towards Mount Lafayette now, if you can hear me. The sun is finally starting to make a little bit of a presence now that some of this is blowing out, which is great. And we'll keep trucking along. As we make our way along, you can really see the this ridge. Getting some nice hail build up on it. Kind of cool. Alright, well, here's the deal. We came to this intersection here with Greenleaf Trail, which is right by my thumb here on Lafayette. We're not going to go down it, we're going to keep going this way. And I'll take some downhill for a little bit, get to a hopefully a spot in here where we can kind of stealth camp and call it a day. That should put us where we need to be to knock out what we have to do tomorrow. So, see what we can do. More hail. Definitely nice to get out of that exposure into some cover. It's just it's been a relentless mix of hail and rain. Luckily though, that means I did get some a little bit of water just right off the trail, and now I guess we gotta start finding somewhere to put a tarp up. I'm about tired of walking. It's starting to flatten out, which is good, so I can start scouting around and see what I can come up with. It's certainly not easy in New Hampshire to just find a clear spot, but with a little perseverance, you will indeed come up with something. I got this pitched a little tight. I'll probably adjust it, but not too far off the trail. Found myself a little area, so just got to get the hammock up next get my stuff out, adjust the tarp as necessary once the hammock is up. Oh, I'm freezing, like shivering, just shivering like crazy. So anyway, I may show you the details of this setup tomorrow in the daylight before we head out, because I'm just cold. All I want to do right now is put my hammock up, get into my quilts, and laying some down and heat up, preferably in my dry backup clothes that thankfully I brought. Whew. All right, anyway. But yeah, that's what we got. We're over a little rise. The trail's further that way, on the other side of a little dip there. So pretty cool. We got a mountain behind us there. I got to get my bearings. That might actually be Lafayette that we just came off of. The tarp is all set, so do some fine tuning, eat some beef stew, call it a night. Little cinch buckle strap that I got makes things a little easier than those carabiner setup that I used before. Look, even my camera's cold, it's shaking. But yeah, got the Dutch clip there made out of titanium on this webbing strap, and then I just pull the cinch buckle until it's where I want it, which is not there. That is incredibly high, but yeah, you get the idea. Well, bad news is my alcohol got so cold during that hailstorm that it won't light, because alcohol fuel needs to be evaporating to catch on fire, and mine got nice and cold during that walk through the hail and whatnot. So now I have to have it on this rock, because the good news is, as you can see, the sun is finally out and beaming right over here. So the plan is to let this alcohol fuel heat up a bit in the sun, and then I'll try lighting it again. Yeah, that's one of the downsides of alcohol. Very relaxing. The new top quilt, bottom quilt, camo for both, of course. The only downside is still have not got that beef stew going. Now I got the fuel in my pocket because the sun is gone and I just cannot get this stuff to light. So I don't know if a hot dinner is in the cards tonight. Might just be a Snickers bar or whatever. I don't know. Something. But I guess it's around sometime after 6 at this point. 5 and 6. I don't know. My watch is over there. I don't feel like looking at it. But yeah, about 13 miles today. I forget the elevation gain total that we did. 5,000 and something, maybe something like that. I forgot. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna just hang out in my hammock here, let the sun go down. If I get this beef stew going, great. If not, like I said, we'll make do. Alright, I think we might be getting somewhere. Here's what I had to do. Took my regular windscreen, remembered that I had this tea candle with me. For some reason I said just have a tea candle around. I've had it for a few trips, never used it. So there it is. Windscreen around it. These Coleman matches are driving me nuts. I got about 2 to light out of 20 tries. I gotta clean up my mess, I know. Anyway, candle lit. I don't advise you do this, but carefully held the fuel over top of this until it heated, and then I was able to strike light it with a flint just like I always do, and now it's finally percolating. And I swear to God, if it doesn't boil this water, somebody's getting hurt, and there's no one else around, so it might be me. But there it is. I think I'll be eating stew tonight. It is the little things and the little challenges that seem so big and entertaining out here. Woohoo! Stew time. Alright, this time I'm for real. Stew, then bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. The sun has gone around the earth and I'm still here. Still warm, still dry. It did rain throughout the night. Not torrential downpour, but definitely raining throughout the night. But yeah, like I said, stayed warm, stayed dry. The only thing is it's created some new rain. It's kind of getting blown off the trees here and there, so I'll just try to stay somewhat dry while I get packed up. Because of that, I think I'll probably just go kind of no frills this morning and pack up relatively briefly, I guess. I'm not going to go out of my way, not going to go too crazy. It's about 6:30 right now, so we got a decent start on the day. We'll get packed up. We'll do the lovely task of putting my wet hiking pants back on, because that's about the best way to get something dry is to wear it, unfortunately. So once I get moving, that'll be fine. I'll warm up and dry those out, and I'll put my dry clothes back in the pack. It's not supposed to rain today, but just in case, I'll keep these clothes dry for another end of the day alternative to get into the hammock with. Actually using my gray Montbell jacket that you've seen plenty of times, stuffed into the black stuff sack for my top quilt here, and that's been working great as a pillow, and it really didn't cost me any weight because I brought my down jacket with me anyway, and it's a good thing I did because it was freezing yesterday. Still, actually, now that I have this handout here, it still feels pretty cold out there. Definitely rolling in like the 40s yesterday. Maybe it's up in the 50s now, I don't know for sure. But yeah, nice little down pillow. Like I said, this works great. I'll have a separate video on this that you can check out. But made by the same people that made my underquilt, just a slightly different color. This is a woodland camo, and this is a multi-cam, a little bit browner tone, but pretty nice. So alright, let's get some Pop-Tarts for breakfast. I actually got a little hungry in my in the middle of the night. Probably just didn't eat enough throughout the day, so I'm looking forward to breakfast. And I'm looking forward to sun. We're heading towards Bondcliffs today, so hopefully we'll get some better views. Well, the sun is coming out and wrapping up, getting packed up. Matter of fact, just about everything's packed up now. Last thing is just the tarp. So just got to get that out of the way, which is actually pretty simple now. It's made by a company called Dutchware, which is the same people, or same guy, that made the cinch buckles I showed you last night, but it's called the Wasp. And it's titanium, and it allows you to adjust your tarp lines without any knots, which is great, at least for me. So check it out, real simple. I got them all around my different tie out points, and it's just kind of around his wing there, so I'll take it off, around his little antenna in the front, back and forth, and now you can see it starts to loosen. It's actually got a little hook in his mouth that you can use to adjust back and forth very quickly, or in this case just unhook it instead of worrying about knots. Now we just packed the whole tarp into the little pocket there and repeat 3 more times, and we're ready to go. Alright, all done. We are off back to find the trail, which won't be hard because it's just a straight beeline right here. We'll meet up at the trail, go right, and then we're headed towards, I believe our next mountain will be Garfield. Played around, hung out at camp for a while. It's about, actually that beep right there, it's 9 o'clock, which is a pretty late start by hiking standards for some people as far as making mileage. Let's see, let's go this way. But we did good mileage yesterday, and it was fun just to be relaxed this morning. So I'm fine with that. Now let's see if we can figure out which way I came in. There we go. That's the trail. Heard one pair of voices go by this morning so far. Must be fun coming up this, although it's going down it wet isn't exactly stress-free either, I guess. But this looks like a brutal climb on the way up. Good Lord. Oh, hey. Thanks for waiting. All we need now is for this sun to burn these clouds off. It's trying. Oh, all right. Here's a few spots that I just didn't bother showing you guys because it's the same old kind of fog look. But there you go. It's peeking out now. It's peeking out up there. Come on, son, do your job. Snack time. Tell you what, feeling better and better about this ribs front pack purchase every day. Nice and convenient. There's a lot of times that I go without eating snacks and staying fueled just because I get a little obsessive and don't want to stop and take the pack off. But with this thing right here, now I get why so many people like these things. Alright, we're a couple miles in now. Right over by Garfield Pond is back there, and so is the trail, but I was just kind of scouting around for fun. And this looks like an awesome campsite here. You can tell I'm obviously not the first one to come up with that. I see a little bit of remnants of a fire there, but wow. Oh, somebody, wow. How does that happen? A single boot with the laces, oh, okay. Somebody gave up on that. Wore their flip-flops out of here. But anyway, as I go through my GPS, I've been doing blog posts lately to go with each trip. So you can download the track data for the whole GPS. But what I've done that's a little different on this trip is I'm actually using the waypoints, and I'm dropping waypoints not just for campsites that I'm at, but if I see any cool potential water sources or campsites like this, I'll drop that for you guys. All right, well, let's get back on the trail. This would have been nice to stay at, though. I like last night, though. That was really just kind of random, like back in the middle of nowhere. Well, here we are, summit of Garfield. We're about to be. It's up there. Just crossed a couple people going the opposite direction, and they were out last night coming from the other way. They didn't get any of the hail that I did, but they got rained on. So we're all in the same boat. Still no mile-long views, but I do love the way those clouds look. I have a weird concrete structure up here. It must have been a fire tower before or something. So we're heading this way. Came from over there. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh man, that feels good. Alright, steady losing elevation coming off of that now. And we're up to a junction here. Garfield Ridge campsite, which we're not going to. We're actually continuing towards Galehead Hut. Not going to stay there, but we'll stealth camp somewhere in that direction. But it looks like Okay, I was gonna say this would be a nice water source, but it looks like it's the official water source for the campsite. So I'm gonna fill up here. I only got maybe 1/4 of a liter left, so I've timed it pretty well. And look at that, little notched out. Isn't that just convenient? All right, well, fill our water right out of that notched log. Perfect. Kind of like climbing down a waterfall here. That's a nice view in front of us. At least the clouds are starting to raise up a little bit. They're starting to expose a little bit. It's awesome. It's warming up. The temperature is a lot nicer now than it was. Just butt scoot down that section. How about this section too? I don't have any shame. Crab walk right down this thing. Well, bad news is, well, maybe it's not bad news yet, but it's starting to sprinkle. Hopefully that's all it is. Good news is, it's nice to be able to see something, huh? Hut up there. Clouds back there, of course, but that looks pretty good there. I'll take that. Alright, well, down we go, and then up we go. It's kind of painful when you see it like that, isn't it? Whew. Almost to the hut. Alright. Galehead Mountain, Twin Brook Trail. Twin Way. That's us. Maybe we'll check the hut out before we go, even though it's a little bit in the opposite direction. Well, as much as I'd like to continue catching sun on the porch over there at the hut, we got to keep moving. We got plenty of this uphill in front of us to get up here towards South Twin. It's about 2 p.m. About 6 or 7 miles in, a couple thousand feet of elevation gain so far. So just trying to keep fueled up with the snacks and keep plugging along here. I remember this. If you can hear me, Mike and I did the winter trip. They cut across here and go down here. And this is where we're getting battered by wind. Just brutalized. If you haven't seen that video, at least go on there and jump to that spot. I think it's around 10 or 12 minutes in or something. It's not like this. Not at all. In fact, we lost the trail down here and just gave up and set up a tent. Alright, well, anyway, that's where we came from. Bondcliff Trail's where we're going. At least we get to go downhill for a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Once you turn off of South Twin towards Bondcliff, the trail really starts to mellow out. It's nice. You know, I'm doing a little bit of uphill here, but there's a lot of flat sections, and even this is nice and mellow. Got the sun poking through the trees. Nice little breather from all that elevation gain back there. And we're breaking out here, going towards Mount Gio. Look at this. breeze feels great. It's been a hot one today, off and on. Check it out, junction. We actually keep going that way towards Mount Bond, but you can see Geo campsite is over here. Actually had the caretaker just pass by. Getting ready to do his 10-day shift, so that's kind of cool. But I'm gonna head over, hit it up, get some water, and then we'll continue on, see how many miles we can make towards the back towards Lincoln Woods, which is Lincoln Woods Trail itself, 8.1 miles. Over there. So let's go get some water though. There's a shelter up there. Water over here. Oh yeah. That looks about right. Definitely not looking forward to going back up the hill there. It's only about a quarter mile, but I think I'm just going to grab this water and keep on trucking. Alright, here's the West Bond Trail. This is a little spur trail that comes off of the trail to Bondcliff, which is where we're ultimately going and where the car is. I'm thinking of taking a little gamble. Just from looking at the top of the map, it doesn't look super promising, but it looks like maybe worth a risk to go down here and see if there's a campsite available. Oh wow, a stealth site. This could pay off, or it could be a pretty big mistake, or a moderate mistake, since I'll have to walk back out and continue on my way. But actually, I'm hoping this, yep, that's what we want to see. See, headed that way goes back into the forest protection area, which they usually do within a quarter mile of any designated campsite. So now we're leaving it. So again, I don't know if we'll find anything, but if we do, we'll be completely legal as long as we are like right on the trail. Actually, the regs say 200 feet from the trail. So, alright, well, didn't end up seeing anything promising. A couple things I could tell were used, but too close to the trail for me, both legally and just fun-wise. I don't want to be sitting on the trail when people are trying to hike and enjoy themselves. So, consolation prize, tag West Bond, get some views, figure the rest out later. Wow. Beautiful. Unbelievable. Might not have found a campsite on here, but that makes it worth it, and we're not even at the top yet. I feel like we're close. Man, just had some powdered sports drink, some peanuts, sugar-coated almonds actually. Oh my god, I'm living the dream. going out that way tomorrow, or maybe tonight actually. I don't know. See what happens. So here's the deal, before I get back in the wind and you can't hear me again. Might just be doing a night hike across the Bonds. Maybe we'll even see a sunset from up there. I don't know. But, you know, bad news is setting up the hammock in the dark, although could be worse bad news than that. Good news is the closer I am to the car, the faster I get that post-hike burger tomorrow. Maybe I'll be eating flame broiled goodness for lunch instead of dinner. I do like that. I like the sounds of that very much. It's about 6:30 now. Crossed over the 12-mile mark at some point. And probably another hour and a half to 2 hours of light. Because, yeah, definitely not camping in here. So, at this point, no turning back till we get to the other side. Getting up to the top of Bond here, and it's starting to rain. I mean, you can see some crazy nasty clouds over there ahead of us. Whew. There's the sun, surrounded by crazy nasty clouds. I don't know. I guess I better put the rain gear on. Things just got a little more interesting. Trail ahead. Yeah, it's a little exposed. I don't know. Really don't want to put this rain gear on, but it's looking like I might have to. There's the wind. All right, we've made it to the cliffs. The wind is brutal. I had to come over here. I still don't know if you can hear me, but if you've ever done even 30 seconds of research on the Bonds of Bondcliff, you'll recognize this. Standard photo op over there. But if you think I'm going out there for a selfie in this wind, no, not this guy, not this trip. It's about 7:30, cracking in 13, 14 miles or something. I don't even know. But I gotta get off here and find somewhere to sleep. Well, got ourselves below the alpine zone into some cover. We're out of the wind now. Of course, we're also significantly cut off from the last remaining sunlight as well, so it's getting darker as we go by the minute, so it'll be headlamp time soon, I guess. Nothing like a little night hiking. Luckily it is practically a full moon. I don't know if it really is or not, but look darn near close. Of course, that's good news number one. Good news number two is saw a sign back there that said this trail, no camping at all. It's a forest protection area. So yeah, that's good. So I guess we're around 15 miles or more at this point, cruising along. But gotta really know what's in store for us now. If we go all the way to Lincoln Woods and just crash there and then get an early start on driving home tomorrow, after that burger, of course. Might be a breakfast burger at this point. But yeah, that's where I'm at this point. That is where I'm at right now. Good morning, everyone. What a night that was. As usual, I'm just waking up. I'm sure I look fabulous, but yeah, last night pretty crazy. As you saw, I kept going on that trail. Luckily, got across the bonds in Bondcliff while the sun was still up, and it was great. Sun goes down, we hit the Bondcliff trail. Then that realization kicks in about the no camping on that trail. Then the double realization that that's pretty much the bulk of the trail out of here. But kept going, kept it legal, kept trucking along. Finally came up to intersection with what is the Wilderness Trail, they call it, which is the trail that I'm on now. I got here around 11:30. As it was, I kept going until I hit about 20 miles. 4,800 feet total elevation gain for yesterday. My trip total's up to like 33 miles or something, which means I've practically done the whole loop. I've only got a handful of miles left. So it's about 7 o'clock now, just kind of hanging, relaxing, because it won't take me too long to get out of here, that's for sure. Plus it's raining a little bit. Speaking of rain, once I hit that Wilderness Trail, I actually had a couple spots, some flat areas start popping up. Two, in fact, that I almost went to, but one was a little buggy, and the other had like 4 feet of like real soft like leaves. That's the ground. I kept rolling, and then it starts raining, and that's when I decided, all right, it's time to stop being picky. So hopped off the trail, first opportunity I got where it wasn't too dense. And two things really saved me. One, having the larger tarp here that was separate from my hammock and on the outside of the pack. And two, I know I keep geeking out about it, but the Dutch wasps. I loved it. I had the tarp set up in no time whatsoever and had all my gear underneath. And was able to, when there was little breaks in the rain, really quickly readjust and make fine-tuning adjustments to the guy lines. And then I was able to take a leisurely pace with setting everything else up underneath. The cinch buckles made it really quick to adjust, and the Dutch clips are nice for going around tree branches. You can quickly unclip without re-threading through those loops like I did with my old system. So all that worked together to make a really quick setup. Had my favorite dinner, a little chili mac and beef. All-time fave by Mountain House, and yeah, just kind of had a nice relaxing night. Probably got to bed after 1 o'clock or something crazy like that, but it was fun. So I'll lay here a bit longer until I hear the rain stop falling off the trees, and then I'll get packed up one more time. See what this day brings us. Alrighty, I believe that'll do it. all cleaned up. About 9 o'clock. So, back on the trail here. There it is. See, it's an old rail trail, which a lot of these trails in the Whites are old rail beds. I even saw last night a whole piece of track back there, which is kind of rare. Usually you see the ties, but the tracks are usually long gone. But there was one little single section of track. Kind of cool. Here's one of the bridges that they're working on. Attention hikers, they're working hard, but it's not ready. I'll gladly take this. This is pretty nice. Other than that little diversion, it's been pretty much the same thing on this trail. Other than bridge crossings, it just looks like this. So I guess you guys didn't miss too much last night when I was hiking this in the dark. Before you know it, we'll be back to that car in that parking lot. I'm sure it's not going to look the same as when we left. I already had a decent amount of cars before, but based on the number of people that have been passing me as I get closer, and the fact that it's a Saturday, it's going to be pretty lit up, I'm sure. But it's been an awesome trip. Can't complain at all. Oh, there we go. This is the bridge we came in on. That's the bridge we'll drive out on. We are back, full circle. What was our mileage today? About four-ish miles. So the whole loop, probably, I don't know. And at least 10,000 feet of elevation gain, I'm guessing. So I'll call that a win. Very beautiful area, and definitely Pemi Loop works up an appetite. So I think you know what that means. I'm going to have to replace some calories. But thank you very much for joining me on this little adventure. Until next time, I'm Syntax77. Right now, it's cheeseburger time.